So March is Women's History Month. Joined with us is artist Nanette Fluhr. Thank you so much for joining us today. Of
Thank you so much, Lara, for having me.
course. So recently, your art is going to be enshrined on the moon. And since we're radio, we unfortunately can't see it. But what is the lunar context, and what can you describe what your piece is?
Okay, so the Lunar Codex is Dr. Samuel Peralta. He's a storyteller and a Canadian-based physicist, and he had a dream of going to the moon, and he decided to bring along different artists and visual artists, poetry, music. It's a very inclusive collection with a very inclusive group. He's representing people from all over the world, and it's going to be the first time that women are going to be having their artwork represented on the moon. So it's just, I could have never thought of this or fathomed of this. And anyway, it's super exciting, and it's going to be, he's like ride sharing on, it's going to be launched into space, and it's going to be bolted to the lunar surface.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
So it's going to be there for forever.
Awesome.
That's so cool.
So I'm sure this is an amazing honor, and congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
How does it? You're welcome. How does it feel to have your art enshrined on the moon?
It feels incredible. It's, as an artist, you put so much into creating a work of art. So knowing that it's going to be there permanently for other people to see it in future generations, and that the paintings that I've created will be seen by other people. So I specialize in portraits, so that these people, you're helping to tell their story and for being part of their legacy. So now it's really going to live on. So that's really exciting to me, and I'm kind of blown away by the whole thing, to tell you the truth. And I'm having 10 different artworks that are going to be part of it.
Wow.
So
I wonder, is this going to be televised at all, or is this all within? Because that was a lot.
will it be televised? Oh, I'm sure it's going to be televised when it comes. Yeah, it's going to be part of SpaceX. So the launch and everything will be televised.
Oh, amazing.
That is
I would imagine, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. But what was the process of making this possible? What were you asked? Was this a competition by any chance, or did this just happen?
Well, I guess you could say it just happened. It wasn't a competition, and nobody could submit or request to be in it. He chose the artwork that he wanted it to be a part of. He really admires the work of Didi Menendez is a publisher of poets and artists. So he took work from a lot of her publications, and also from Fine Art Connoisseur. So it's the publications that are going to be on these microfiche, nickel microfiche discs, I believe, that are going to be sent. So it's going to be digitized images, not the actual artwork.
Wow. I would have never guessed that was like that. So he really just went and was like, I like this, and I like this. Let's do it.
Yeah, and I think he wanted to represent our culture and our times, for people to see this glimpse of what life was like. So it's going to be a museum, basically, of art and culture, a snapshot of art and culture from this time in our life.
Awesome.
That's so cool.
So I know you kind of mentioned a little bit. So what is the process of the art getting up there? And I know you said it's digitized version. So what's the whole process of that like? Do you know?
No, that is way beyond my scope. He's a brilliant physicist, and there's a website you should definitely check out, or post if you're able to. It's the Lunar Codex, and it has all questions and answers, and it explains the technology and how it's going. But it's way beyond my grasp. I'm just thrilled to be a part of it, and that my art is going to be there.
For sure.
Yeah. And you said you were one of the first women to be a part of this. Was that right?
Well, his project is going to be the first time, I believe, when the art was, I was 4 years old at the time when my dad woke me up to see Neil Armstrong take his first steps on the moon. And I believe there were 6 different male artists who snuck on images of their art. This is going to be the first time that there's going to be a very comprehensive group of art that is going to be permanently bolted there. So it's the first time that women artists, people from all over the world are going to be represented. So it's very diverse, but it is the first time. It's 54 years later, and it'll be the first time. And I am going to be among the first of the women, but it's women from all over the world.
That's so exciting. And
And
you know,
all different people, not just women.
of course, but especially being a woman artist, like what does that feel like to be a part of this?
It feels incredible. It feels incredible. I'm just so happy to be living during this time when change is being made. I mean, women have always contributed to society through their creative efforts and everything in every field, from art, education, government, all different, business. But now women are starting to, they're starting to try to make take steps to equalize, level the playing field. So there's still a lot more work to go, but I'm thrilled that I'm alive during this time and seeing that these changes take place.
Yeah. And kind of getting a wider lens on things, not only being enshrined on the moon, but you were also named one of the recipients for the Outstanding Women Artists Achievement Award for this year for the Manhattan
Yes.
Arts Edition. Congratulations, of course.
Thank you
But,
so much.
Of course, but a wider lens, like what does this mean for women in the industry, like an overall, like the overall artistic industry?
So the overall artistic industry is, again, it's wonderful. I feel very fortunate. I love what I do. I feel very fortunate that I'm able to work as an artist, and that people like my work enough that it resonates with them, that they're able to, that they collect it or that they commission me to paint their portrait. So I'm feel very privileged and honored that I get to do that. And I hope by doing this, I hope it sends the message to other people that these things are possible, to young girls, to other female artists, that we do have a voice, that all voices are needed, whether you're whoever you are, all different. It's not just good for women, it's good for all people when you see different perspectives. So I hope that success sends that message to people. I hope it encourages them. I did a very personal painting, A Lotus Grows in the Mud, that I almost didn't show to anybody because it was really just for myself, and I did. And last year it won the International Her Story competition from Manhattan Arts Council. And the feedback that I got from people, it was about letting pain, being like the lotus, and letting pain roll off you and not getting inside of you. And I received so much feedback from that painting. So I was surprised, and I was so moved that it resonated with people like that. So I feel everybody has something to tell and to share. So I hope it sends that message, to put yourself out there and share what you do.
Of course, and I know, it's so impressive to have your work out there and be able to share that message with others and just be an inspiration for people. And as Frida Kahlo once said, I am my own muse. Do you have an artist or muse that helps you inspire?
Yes, I love that. She was the original selfie. She painted her self-portrait numerous times. Do I have so the first painting so I used to paint at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I did master copies there, and it's an incredible way to learn, to study the masters. And actually, V.G. Lebrun, Elizabeth Louise V.G. Lebrun, was the first one that I copied there, and I researched her, and then I just I painted a replica of her painting Madame Grand. And I just, for Poets and Artists, that group run by Didi Menendez, they had a show called Mujer, where you're to pay homage to one of your favorite female artists, living or from the past, and I paid homage to her. Hold on a second, right? Oops. I did this little, I know your viewers aren't going to get to see it, but at least you will. I did this little postcard painting of her. Yeah.
Oh,
anyway, so she's
beautiful.
probably, if I had to pick one, but Cecilia Beau, there are so many. And there's a campaign that says, can you name 5 women artists? Because most people can't, but you have no trouble saying the names, rattling off the names of 5 male artists. So that's also something that's really important, to just shed light that these women were painting and they have always contributed to society. It was much harder then. And for museums to have these collections. So those steps are still needed to be taken. You know, they're making efforts, but there's still a lot more work that has to be done for women to receive equal pay, equal representation.
Yeah.
Well,
in the
I
arts
know
in all industries, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
that if I ever get asked 5 artist names, your name is going to be on the list.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you.
For me as well, absolutely inspiring, I must say, and just so empowering for young women and just people in general. But speaking of empowering people and all that, where can people learn about you and your art?
Oh, thank you so much. So I have a website. It's my name, www.nanette, it's Nanette Fluhr. NANETTEFLUHR. I'm on all different social media platforms if people want to follow along. On Instagram, it's at Nanette_Fluhr. And I share different events I have. If they go to my website and they want to sign up for my newsletter, I share different news and shows and what's happening. If they'd like to follow along on this journey, that would be awesome.
I know
That's
I will
great.
be.
I will be as well.
So I have one last and silly question.
Yeah.
Do you believe in extraterrestrials?
Do I believe? I am open to a lot of things.
Okay. All right. So if you believe in extraterrestrials, do you think
No,
any will
no,
find
I
your
didn't.
artwork?
I didn't say I believe. I said I'm open to the possibility of a lot of things. Honestly, there's so much that we don't know. And I almost find the more that you know, the more I learn that of how much I don't know.
Mhm.
So
Well, if they were to exist,
yes,
In a world where extraterrestrials existed and we were not the only living being
yes.
in the galaxy, do you think any would find your artwork?
Oh, I think on the moon they would. Yes. That is the hope. That is the hope that future humans, the future anything finds it, that it's going to be there. But yeah, it excites me just in general when I'm painting and I'm putting down strokes on the canvas, that people will be looking at this in years to come, and what I'm creating now is going to live on. Even as a young girl, my mother is just the neatest, cleanest person I've ever met. I did not get that gene, but there was never any clutter or anything around, but she always saved my artwork. And I think that sent a very strong message to me that what we create lasts and is so important. So anyway, so I really value that. And I think art, just people in general, I think people really value the arts because it's so important for humanity. It's
For sure.
It definitely is. And I feel like art is so beautiful and it connects us in so many ways. And for you to come on and just talk with us about it, it's been truly an honor. And we just want to thank you for your time today.
Yes,
thank you. I want to thank you for having me. It was wonderful. I appreciate
Oh.
the opportunity.
Thank you. Well, with that being said, we are going to kick it to live in the studio. So thank you again, Nanette, for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you. Best of luck to you both.
Thank you.